The COVID-19 related lockdown in the city of Shanghai has now entered in its fourth week. The lockdown started after Shanghai reported cases as high as 20,000 on a daily basis. This lockdown has been an unprecedented lockdown. The last lockdown that we saw across China was in 2020, but this time around the lockdown in Shanghai is having a major impact on the supply chains, especially the tech supply chain, which is essential to Shanghai's own prosperity and also China's prosperity. So this lockdown has had a global impact at the same time. Yeah, they have been exchanging messages and telling their stories living under the lockdown. The most fascinating part of the story of the lockdown in Shanghai is the criticism that we have seen over the past days. The criticism has been pouring out on social media, where people have been telling their stories of working from home, staying at home, and also struggling to find food. This story is a very important story where the people, as well as the internet censors in China, are playing a game of cat and mouse, where the people are posting messages which quickly get censored, and they have to kind of find ways around censorship to tell their stories. There's one particular example where they were posting a message about the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian. They were making fun of him. They were criticizing him for, in his own words, calling out the US on human rights issues. So this kind of back and forth between the people and the officials is an important story in China that is still unfolding. Over the past few days, we've seen a video which was censored by the Chinese internet censors. This particular video shows the city under lockdown, and it's a compilation of the messages that people have been sharing on social media. So at the moment, the situation in Shanghai is quite tense, but we have also seen that cities like Beijing have started preparing for a situation where they might also have to lock down. What has got a lot of people in Shanghai concerned and really angry about the response that Beijing has had towards the lockdown is that the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson and the officials have been busy criticizing the US for its own human rights record, which is somewhat of a distraction strategy amidst the food crises, where people have been finding it hard to get the essential food requirements, which are in a big shortage in the city of Shanghai. The other story about this lockdown is the competition between Beijing and Shanghai. Shanghai is the commercial capital of China, and Beijing is the political capital of China. And historically, they've always had this kind of tension between the regions, because Shanghai has a different kind of politics, which is very entrepreneurial, which is geared towards promoting connections with the West, versus Beijing, which does not always welcome the kind of relations with the West that have been established over the last 3 decades. And this distinction between politics of Beijing and Shanghai is important in the context of Xi Jinping, because Xi Jinping is seeking the 3rd term, and Shanghai politicians and the Shanghai clique remains powerful. So the lockdown in Shanghai has been seen as somewhat of a politically inspired action.